Kali, the fierce divine. Before we begin, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We are telling the complete stories of the 10 Mahavidyas, one every week, revealing the fierce and mystical avatars of the Divine Mother. Today's story is about one of the most fearsome and revered forms, Goddess Kali. When destruction reaches its peak, the Divine Mother takes a terrifying form, Kali. She is not just a goddess, but the embodiment of time, death, and transformation. Today, we explore Kali's origin, her fierce battles with demons, the secret path of Kali Sadhana, and the sacred temples where she is worshipped. Who is Kali? In times when darkness threatened to consume the world, the divine feminine manifested in her most terrifying form, Kali. She is not just a goddess, she is the force of time, the destroyer of evil, the liberator of truth. Fierce, wild, and drenched in cosmic power, Kali emerges when all else fails. The story begins with two mighty Asura brothers, Shumbha and Nishumbha. They conquered the heavens, overthrew the gods, and declared that no power, especially no woman, could challenge them. Blinded by arrogance, they claimed the three worlds as their own. One day, in the serene silence of the Himalayas, a divine glow began to radiate. It was Goddess Durga, seated gracefully in a garden of blossoms, swinging gently, radiant like 1,000 suns. When Shumbha heard of her unmatched beauty, he sent his messenger to propose marriage. "Marry the Lord of the three worlds," the messenger said, "and you shall never want for anything." Durga smiled and replied, "I made a vow. I will only marry the one who defeats me in battle." That calm reply wounded their pride deeper than any sword. Enraged, Shumbha sent his general Dhumralochna, who was instantly reduced to ashes by a mere glance from the goddess. Next came the vicious warriors Chanda and Munda, leading an army of horrors. As the battlefield darkened, Durga's forehead furrowed, and from it burst forth a shadow, darker than night, fiercer than fire. It was Kali, the terrible one. With unbound hair, glowing eyes, and a necklace of skulls, she screamed onto the battlefield like a storm unleashed. In a moment of raw fury, Kali beheaded Chanda and Munda and brought their severed heads to Durga. Durga said, "For this act of valor, you shall be known as Chamunda, the slayer of Chanda and Munda." But the battle had only begun. Shumbha then summoned his most terrifying commander, Raktabija. He carried a terrible boon. Every drop of his blood that touched the ground gave rise to a clone of himself. Every wound only multiplied him, creating an endless army of demons. Durga fought valiantly, but the battlefield was overrun. And then Kali rose again. She stretched out her tongue, drank every drop of Raktabija's blood before it could fall, and crushed his clones with divine wrath. With blood on her lips and fire in her eyes, Kali devoured the unstoppable, and silence returned to the field of war. Shumbha and Nishumbha could no longer hide behind generals. They themselves entered the battlefield. Kali shattered their legions while Durga rose into the sky like the sun of justice. Nishumbha fell first, pierced by divine weapons. And then came the final battle, Shumbha versus the Devi. As Durga stood surrounded by her many forms, Kali, Chamunda, Bhairavi, Shumbha mocked her. "You are not alone. You fight with an army." To this, the goddess smiled and said, "I am one. These forms are born of me. I fight alone." And with a single strike, she ended Shumbha's tyranny forever. But Kali's rage did not end. Drunk on the ecstasy of battle, she danced wildly across the corpses of the slain. Her steps shook the earth, her scream echoed through the skies. To calm her, Lord Shiva himself lay down beneath her feet. As her foot touched Shiva's chest, Kali recognized her beloved, and her fury melted. She stopped, her tongue still out, her eyes wide in sudden awareness. This is the moment we see in her most iconic form, Kali standing over Shiva, frozen between destruction and grace. Kali is not merely the destroyer, she is the awakener. She slays not just demons, but ego, fear, ignorance, and illusion. To invoke Kali is to invite transformation, powerful, painful, and pure. She is the mother of time, the fire of truth, and the silence after the storm. Om Kreem Kalikaya Namah. Before we go ahead, we'd love to hear your thoughts. If Kali Maa came and stood before you in all her glory, what would you do? Would you feel fear, surrender, or deep devotion? Which part of Kali's story resonated with you the most? Tell us in the comments below. Kali Sadhana, the mystical path to fear's divine. Kali Sadhana is one of the most powerful and secretive tantric practices. It is not for the faint-hearted, it requires fearlessness, surrender, and intense devotion. Devotees seek her for protection, inner strength, and spiritual liberation. She is worshipped during midnight, especially on Amavasya, the new moon night. Kali Sadhana often involves the 5 sacred elements, known as the Pachmakra, symbolic of breaking taboos and ego. Kali Sadhana is to be performed under the strict guidance of a qualified guru. Advanced practitioners say Kali burns away karma and leads to moksha, liberation. To invoke Kali is to invite transformation, painful, powerful, and divine. Sacred temples of Kali, where she is worshipped. 1. Kali Ghat Temple, Kolkata, West Bengal, one of the 51 Shakti Pithas, believed to be where the toes of Sati fell. Here, Kali is worshipped in her most primal and intense form. 2. Dakshineshwar Kali Temple, West Bengal, associated with Saint Ramakrishnan Paramhansa, who attained spiritual enlightenment through devotion to Kali. The goddess here is known as Bhavtarini, the liberator of the world. 3. Kamakhya Temple, Assam, a tantric Shakti Peech where Kali is revered as the essence of fertility, death, and rebirth. This temple represents the womb of the goddess, a powerful place for rituals. 4. Tarapeeth Temple, Birbhum, West Bengal, dedicated to Tara, a form of Kali who grants wisdom and guides the soul through the darkness. Sadhus and tantrics live here, performing Kali worship around cremation grounds. 5. Chintpurni, Himachal Pradesh, one of the Shakti Peeths, where the severed head of Sati is believed to have fallen. Here, Kali is worshipped in the form of Chinnamasta, the self-decapitated goddess. 6. Ujjain, Madhya Pradesh, at the Kal Bhairav temple, Kali is worshipped along with her consort Bhairava. This is one of the key tantric centers of India, rich with ancient rituals and power. If you enjoyed this story and want to experience more divine content like this, make sure to like the video and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us continue sharing these sacred tales every week, one Mahavidya at a time. Kali is not just a destroyer, she is a mother who clears the path to truth. She is the fire that burns illusions, the darkness that devours ignorance. To walk her path is to face your shadow, your fears, and emerge fearless. She is the fierce protector, the liberator, the mother of time, Mahakali. Om Kreem Kalikaya Namah.